Baltic Brand Talks, a podcast about all things creative and trending.
And this is something that we started 1.5 years ago. It's called Baltic Brand Talks. It's a podcast where we have managed to interview around 27, I think, people so far. Fantastic guests. Yes, please. Yes. Guests from Baltics. Some are here. I think some of those podcast guests are here. Brands like Liquid Death, brands like Oatly, brands like Bolt, brands like Vinted, brands like Baltic, many others. So if you haven't checked it yet, you're more than welcome. And yeah, so the mission for Baltic Brand Forum, Baltic Brand Awards, Baltic Brand Talks, and the whole thing that we are doing is really to unite Baltics, to learn from each other, make friends, make connections, probably join forces in many campaigns or activities that are ahead of us. But mostly, yeah, remember that we are much more united than split, and that we really need to, be close friends together here in 3 countries. But today, again, why I say something is going to happen for the first time. For the first time, the podcast will happen live, together with 120 or so people. And another first time, it's a podcast where you will have a chance to ask your questions as well. So please scan the code now if you want to engage with us today. So it's slido.com. And if you scan the code, scan the QR code or write in the numbers, you will open a platform where you can ask questions, where you can actually vote for the most favorite questions. And some of them we will really try to answer later today. Both me talking with my guest for a podcast, and later also Gunnar hosting the discussion on city marketing. So, and of course, the guest itself. What a brand, right? Who loves Lego here? Everyone loves Lego. Like in my family, we have this, I don't know, meter times meter, like large box filled with thousands of Legos, and it's like this how you call it, this sacred box. And the kids are now grown-ups, so the box is waiting for the next generation to come. But yeah, so Ben Richards, welcome. You have the mic, so please enjoy the seat.
I think it's really important to say that it's the Lego company. We don't actually use the word Lego. We certainly don't use the word Legos, which gets thrown around a lot. Yeah, thanks for having me. Really lovely to be here. My first time here as well. So, yeah, delighted to be here.
So, welcome, Ben.
I didn't know about the Slido bit. That's interesting. That's going to be fun.
Yeah, so how was your day in Vilnius, since you are also the first time here?
Yeah, so not as... I arrived a little bit later, and I literally turned up at the hotel and saw 2 friends sitting outside the hotel having a drink. So I thought the right thing for me to do would be sit down and have a drink with them. So we did, and then we had a bit of a wander. Yeah, and I really like the temperature. I'm a sort of wintry person, so I like cold, crisp days. So yeah, perfect for me.
Yeah, sounds like a good plan not to come this early, like what Mar did. So come on the right in the middle for the sunshine. So Ben, you are the head of experience at Lego Group and Lego Agency. Mm-hmm. Can you shortly tell head of experience what do we understand by the title itself?
Yeah, it's quite a big sort of global head of experience. But the important thing about Lego, and I will talk about this tomorrow, is we have a large internal agency, and it's not an in-house agency, it's an integrated agency, and I'll talk about it a little bit more tomorrow. But within that, we've set up a relatively new part of the business called the experience part of the business. So I run that. predominantly it's creatives and strategists. Where I focus on is everything after awareness, right? So that could mean retargeting, it could mean .com, it could mean physical retail, it could mean how we turn up on partners, like a Walmart or an Amazon. So huge canvas, huge creative opportunity, and that's how we define experience.
And we'll talk a lot about Lego, but before that, what's your background? Can you shortly introduce yourself, and how did you manage to get into the world of, toys?
Yeah, well, I studied packaging design, right, quite early. And packaging design, if any of you know, is a bit of a combo of maths and advertising. And I was always a keen coder developer as a side thing since I was very young. I'm old enough to copy BASIC from magazines into computers and not working out, and then working out why it didn't work. And then we had the .com era, and I just sort of rode that wave. So I had pretty interesting jobs at Yahoo. Then I moved like fully creative at Microsoft. So I spent many years working there, bridging the gap between technology and Microsoft. I then went fully agency side, and I looked after Ford Motor Company for multiple years, looking after their experiences. And then I pitched for a bit of work for a small Danish Lego toy company called Lego, the Lego company. And we won it. And just I got to know people there, and it became really apparent that it was a place I wanted to work. And fortunately, it was a place they wanted me to work. So, and that's where I met Nick Taylor and Julia Golden and all of that crew. And moved across to Lego.
Fantastic, but also understand that it's a new discipline that you're kind of developing in the agency, the whole commerce direction. Can you talk a bit more about that?
Yeah, it's a new organization, but not a new discipline. It's about bringing teams together. So, a lot of them are commerce sort of teams. How do you manage like pages on .com? How do you create sort of commerce strategy? But also, how do you do like 3D in retail, Windows in retail, and a huge sort of remit. But the talent has always been very strong and within the business, but we just brought them together so we can have more of an end-to-end experience canvas.
And if you compare Lego culture from the companies you worked before, what really stands out? What makes Lego unique?
Lego is a family-owned business. So that's imagine how that...
Family is still around.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, totally. The CEO isn't part of the family, but the family are part of the system and how we work. And but imagine, it's like their name. It's like they care, and it means you might not get like shareholder pressures, so you can really do what's right. And there's if anyone ever wanted to work at the Lego company, there is the Lego way, and it's online. It's like, children at the heart of everything we do, and so on. And people are really, really helpful at Lego. And it's almost this, everyone's trying to get to this greater good. And I think there is that, it seems to be a trait of the people who work at the company. It's very kind.
And what is the role of the Lego brand? Like, what is the kind of the driving mission that probably also motivates a lot of people who work in Lego?
I'm sure there is an official driving mission, but I would say the way I talk about it with my crew is that we have a contract with the universe to do something more.
That's a big statement.
Yeah, no, but I do believe it's like there are experiences that our brands can put out there in the world. They always set the bar. It's our job to do, a little bit more craft, a little bit more unexpected, absolutely like joyful and humorous and all those unexpected things. I'm sure there's an official line, but I think we should always just be pushing. The guys and the teams in the product division, they're doing that. So we should do it in the creative division as well.
Fantastic. This year, as we just discussed, Baltic Brand Forum is all about brands tapping into culture, and Lego is, of course, a fantastic example in doing a lot of this. We all know about Lego's collabs or really engaging with Formula One, with so many Hollywood blockbusters like Star Wars and many others. So can you share like maybe some of the most successful collaborations or this tapping into culture?
Well, I think Star Wars is very important to the Lego company, and you just need to look on like Wikipedia and realize how important it is. But F1's been huge, and tomorrow we're going to go to them in a little bit more detail. But F1 both has attracted audiences that maybe weren't looking at our products, but also has like huge growth for us, putting products in people's hands. But the trick is to listen to people, right? You don't just make a Lego set; they are crafted, and we care, and we can't just turn one around in a couple of weeks. So they are very much well thought out, and maybe that isn't the sort of speed of culture. So when we make these decisions, they have to be like all those like that, going a little bit above, like being that, talking to fans in the way that fans really understand it. You have to go that little bit further. So, and the only way you can authentically talk to fans is by knowing them, right? So loads of research, talking to people, finding the nuances and the tweaks and all those things.
And then actually building one, right?
Yeah.
Lego car. How did it go with that one?
Yeah, well, I will go into the case study tomorrow. But yeah, we built 10, not just one.
10 F1 cars with Lego.
Yeah. Like it was a massive undertaking, and obviously a risk, but it absolutely paid off, right? And it's those types of things. And apologies for tomorrow, because I'm going to say something. Is anyone an F1 fan? I'm going to literally do this tomorrow. So if you go to F1 races, I'm a huge F1 fan. I love it. And my kids love it, and my dad loves it. So we've always grown up. So it was a bit of a dream for me. But if you go to an F1 race, some of it's pretty boring, right? It's like you are hanging around a lot. And if that actually the race is kind of cool, but it's before the race, which is like you just want it to start. And they have this thing called the drivers' parade, right? And if you go, and it's normally drivers going around on a scaffolding truck, and they're like, hey, and they wave. It's not great. But those moments are not great. I said that's what you look for. You look for those moments that are not great, and they're the things you elevate. And that's what happened. And the fairly funny phrase of breaking the internet. Well, nothing breaks the internet. It's quite stable, right? But it did really, really, really well for us. Really, really, really well for F1 as well, because you're listening to your audience, and it had that sort of multiplier effect. Because and I will save some for tomorrow, but it wasn't just the direct audience. There was also another audience that absolutely loved it.
What are some more like these, themes, communities that Lego is actively engaged in?
Everywhere, right? Everyone's a potential player.
Pick the theme, and it's something's happening there.
Well, there's
gardening. Yes, we saw the whole flower collection.
Yeah. Well, so what do you think the audience is for that?
All over the place, right?
Yeah, but that might have a lead audience, right? Maybe it's more female than other audiences, but it's for everyone. Everyone can be a builder and a player, right? Obviously kids are at the heart of what we do, but we are open to all.
One of the things I noticed, I think recently, was the collab with Times, where Lego was awarding the the most powerful girls.
Yeah.
Another,
She built that.
she built that.
Yeah.
Can you shortly talk about that? Like
Yeah.
another great way to, be
Yeah.
part of theme, empower women, empower girls.
Yeah, totally. So it had some more conventional content. We did a recreation of Run DMC, just like that, when we did it with influencers and minifigs and all of that stuff. We had that as a lead theme, but we do believe our products are really good, and they're good. People feel good when they play with our products, and they have like a lifespan, and they bring joy. So there might be some demographics that are seeing that less, right? And girls could be one of them. So why shouldn't we lean into that and try and, anything? A lot of the time stuff was trying to get young women into STEM and into thinking about education and empowerment. But it was all fun. It was all joyous. So yeah, that's we're still in the middle of that campaign, but it was also in all of our stores, and it's everywhere at the moment.
It was running in Latvia as well. In the Baltics.
everywhere, global.
Is the thing? I remember like 10 years ago, we used a lot as a reference the Lego platform where everyone can submit their idea of Lego.
Yeah.
And the lucky ones who were chosen by Lego actually became kind of shareholders of that.
2 a year, I think.
Is it still around?
Yeah.
How does it work? Because I think it's another fantastic way to not just build fans or fandom, but actually turn them into part of the company, right?
Yeah, there's only so much I know about that particular world, but I think what I take from it is our super fans are engaged. And if you can do something for that, I think it's like, have you seen the globe, the Lego globe model? I think that was one of the ones that came through that process. Beautiful designs, well thought out, and obviously, they get to then meet our rock stars who are the product people who make the actual models themselves. Yeah, I think it's just supporting our super fans. Yeah, more power to it. I love it.
I can't imagine like the enthusiasm and the passion those guys have when they actually, make it.
Yeah.
Like what a powerful like Lego ambassadors you might have now at the moment in different parts of the world.
Yeah, I think everyone's a bit of a Lego ambassador if you can get to it, and there's just different layers of that stewardship. But I think any brand, if you have a active fan base for your actual core product, lean into it. Why not? And what a beautiful way of doing it, right?
So what about different trends that you see? I think one that we definitely have noticed, and I also talked with the head of Lego marketing in Baltics, and she said that the adult or kidults, the trend that often told that there are more and more adults getting back to Legos. I think in Latvia it was 30% adults buying Legos at the moment. I think globally even more.
Yeah.
Is it?
Well, let's more adults buy Legos
for themselves.
For
no, that's where they buy for themselves, not for the kids.
Yeah. Well, like I said, everyone can be a player, right? And the adult piece is going. Like we're saying about botanicals, these areas are growing. The company's doing really well because they're making these great decisions, some on the side of culture, some leading culture, some inventing new things. So yeah.
Other trends, like other changes that you notice are kind of coming in from the cultures or from the different parts of the world that influence Lego.
Yeah, all the time. I normally work like 2 years out, right? And at Lego, you have different, like, what do you call them? Like ID cards, and they're all different. Like you get a couple of different coloured bricks. So you have, I think, black brick if you're IT, so you can go to the server rooms. You have a white brick if you're general, and you have a red brick if you're working on stuff 2 years out that you can't talk about. I'm a red brick. So there's some stuff we can't talk about, but there's also, you're smart people, you can probably make some good guesses, right? You know, there's franchises coming around and all of that stuff.
So far, fantastic. Just pure success. Are there any challenges? Is Lego actually having real competition out there, or you're?
No, I think you welcome competition, right? If it's growing the category and if it's making great products, I think that's what we should be welcoming. I think that's cool. I don't know. Challenges speaking, there's loads of different channels that you have to turn up, and we have to maintain the quality, right? And being, just getting onto a channel quickly, just because it's there, I'd rather not do that. I'd rather, land properly and the best as we can. Apple, obviously they made the iPhone, but they're not normally first to market, right? They're normally second to market, but really nicely done, right? So I think that's more how I see the world.
So you don't chase every trend.
No.
Yesterday, I think everybody started to put those very, very tiny horizontal videos on Instagram. Lego did not jump on that yet.
Nope.
Thanks God.
Yeah.
So working globally, I mean, also even here in Europe, do you see kind of a big cultural differences among countries?
I think, of course, let's embrace that. That's a good thing. I was thinking about this earlier, actually. I was thinking, if I'm a 21-year-old from Rome, let's say, I reckon I've got more in common with a 21-year-old from Vilnius than I have with a 40-year-old from Rome. And should we really think about geographies anymore? Should we just think about demographies a little bit more, right? And because I think that there's both sort of demography culture and geography culture, and it's this 4D chess space. I don't think anyone's cracked it, but I think it's really interesting. And I embrace how either demographies or geographies, but we have marketing, like you said, we've got marketing teams everywhere doing their own stuff. Just the other day in Paris, they shut down the Champs-Élysées for a huge Lego sort of build fest, right? Yep. They did that in Paris. It was a lovely sunny day. It was hugely successful. They just did that there because it fitted right with what they were doing and with who they were wanting to talk to. That's cool.
I saw it somewhere. What was it? I mean, it looked like grand festival. Yeah. Everybody building Legos on the street.
Yeah, that's it. I think there's tables and families on tables. It's kind of sort of Lego Masters and the TV show. It was like
Lego Maniacs.
Yeah, it was kind of a version of that. But we had our super builders there, our super experts there. Again, you've got to, it's great when markets are just doing really interesting stuff like that just grab culture. And obviously, you saw that. You're not in Paris, on the Champs-Élysées. You're seeing that on social. So yeah, it kind of goes, what are the barriers or what are the boundaries these days?
Yeah. World is very connected these days.
Yeah, it's cool though. I love it.
What are some of the do's and don'ts for the campaigns or contents or products even that Lego does?
I couldn't talk to I'm sure there's lots of do's and don'ts with actually making the products themselves. They have to obviously have all the craft and all the surprises and all those things. Our CCO Carlo Calvone, super cool guy. He's got a very high standard, right? And Nick Taylor.
And they approve everything, more or less.
Pretty much. Okay. We all work together, but yeah, I want them to. I want them in the room. I want them caring about my stuff. I care about their stuff, right? So we all care about all of our stuff, right? So, and there is that, we do try and share. It's not so good for my social life, but we do try and share as much work as possible. But I guess it is my social life. I love it.
I heard from Nicole, actually, from your colleague in Lego, that if you live there in this beautiful but very small town,
Billund.
Billund,
Yeah.
the most of the neighbors you would ever meet are part of Lego company, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Can
Totally.
you share a little bit this, let's say, behind the scenes of the social life in the small town?
Yeah. Well, so you have. Has anyone here ever been to Billund? Okay.
Yeah.
What did
7,
you-
8.
What
I
did you
guess.
make of Billund when you went? Did you go there with kids? It's amazing if you go there with kids, right? A lot of people live in Billund. There's also Aarhus, and there's a couple of areas around it where people live. But it is Lego. It is the Lego town, right? And it is the campus, and there's the factory. There's a factory there. So yeah, it's pretty amazing. I'm out of the London office, so we have these sort of centres across the world. We have Billund, we have Boston, we have Shanghai, Singapore, Copenhagen, and London. That's where like the creative agency parts are. I would say if you had a 4-year-old and a 5-year-old and you got offered a job to live in Billund, do it immediately. Do it immediately. If you had a 15-year-old and a 16-year-old, talk to them first, right? Because it's a different thing. But we're actually investing very much in building the Copenhagen. We've got a new Copenhagen office where we want to get young talent working on our creative, and there's only so much room in Billund, right? So we have like Copenhagen, let's say, and a new office in London as well on the South Bank. So yeah, we're expanding as we go.
So there's an in-house agency you call our Lego agency.
Our Lego
OLA,
agency.
or how do you?
OLA. Or
Ola.
Ola. Some people call it Ola.
In Latvian, it's Ola. It's egg, basically,
Yeah,
which
that's-
is
it's named
almost
after-
a perfection.
It's named after the egg. No, I don't know.
Ola. So there's an in-house agency of 300 plus people, but you also tend to kind of collaborate with external partners as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So how do you see, like, what's the, let's say, best way of working in the marketing, in advertising?
Yeah, so so we're an in-house agency, but we're the lead agency. So on any work, we're the lead agency managing it, and we get to work with other agencies. We have an agency like Roster. It's amazing. It's exactly how it should be, right? You get to work with the most interesting businesses and the interesting people who are interestingly specialized, right? And we, there is a lot to learn about, how the Lego business runs. We look after that. Let our partners and also our creative teams be creative. It's really important. So yeah, we have an amazing roster of agencies we work with, and it's one of those brands that people lean into and want to work with. It's a good logo on the old logo salad page at the beginning of the creds deck, right? But yeah, so it's really not. It's very collaborative. Like I said, kind people trying to be collaborative. It's like, it's not. There's no invented here. It's like we've got to do this thing and make amazing things.
Because I think the more and more we see, especially startup world, they, like the bigger unicorns, often they try to have their in-house agency who does like 100% of marketing.
Yeah.
And then of course there is kind of the old way, they just outsource everything, right?
Yeah.
So you're kind of trying to kind of mix or merge the both worlds, and then there is people who perfectly understand Lego and people who bring in the outside perspective.
Yeah, that's it. I think so. Emma, who is runs the London office with me, I think she said when you look at in-house agencies, and it's a bit of an old language, which I think Ola is not in-house; it's an integrated part of the business. But many in-house agencies, I think 17%, only 17% actually run the work. A lot of them just run vendors, and so we lead the work, but almost to try and cut a path for our creative partners to, like, dive through.
I can't not ask a question about AI, of course.
Okay.
Artificial intelligence. Have you tried to design Legos with it? Have you, are you actively kind of using it, or you're actively avoiding it? Where Lego stands here?
So I can talk about my stance. I was a fairly early adopter. Like I graduated with a diploma in AI pre-GPT. It would have been easier if I left it a year, because then I could have had GPT write my final essay. But our overarching point of view is that AI is there to do the mundane tasks, not to replace people. We want our people to be more creative. That's like foundational in what we believe, right? Yeah, and that's one of the reasons because I like believe in that as well, right? I'm not a AI naysayer. I've always been a huge fan of what it can do, right? And the old adage, if what do you say? If you don't, you're not going to lose your job to AI. You're going to lose your job to someone who knows how. Well, we all know how to use AI because it's really easy to use, right? So, I think it should be harnessed as a thing for good and positivity. Yeah, and to not replace people, but to help people.
Yeah. So. Couple of questions we ask every guest in this podcast.
Right.
The one is, which other brands do you admire and why? Besides Lego,
yeah.
Of course.
So I've got a couple that's come to mind. First of all, I'd say what I admire. I admire any creative agency who gets anything out into the wild and it happens and people experience it. Because from the outside looking in, it seems easy. But we all know from the inside looking out, it's hard, right? And I think, so that's why, being judgmental on people's work is not my thing. I think just the fact that work is out there, more power to you, make more, let's go. Who or what brands I really like? So there's a British bank called Monzo. Have you heard of Monzo, anyone? Monzo Bank, right? So when I do my lectures, I always say, who loves their bank? And most people, well, no one really loves their bank, right? People, well, you get a couple of hands going up and you go, so you bank with Monzo or Revolut, right? And they, more often than not, they say Monzo, right? And the reason why is all those things. I said, they look at the total experience of banking and they elevate key moments in it. So, an example of that is Monzo will pay you a day before you get paid. Because when you get paid by your business, it sits in like a holding account before it goes into your account. Monzo have gone, well, we're going to pay you a day early, right? Because we want to attract young people to our bank account. Imagine you're 22, you've got a job, of course you want to be paid a day early. What don't people do? People don't change their bank accounts. Get them in, you get them in for life, right? But not only do they pay you a day early, it doesn't just go into your account. You have to open the app and you have to drag it like a euro note into a wallet and it goes ching. That's branding, man. That is talkable social branding. I've never seen a Monzo TV ad, right? So that's where the game is. The other brand that I think in the modern idea of brands, I think you've got to give cred to Taylor Swift as a brand, right? She's she's amazing, right? Just re-recording her back catalogue, taking ownership of it, making a stage show which was which was just such a thing for people to see, going around the world with that stage show, making a movie of that stage show, releasing another album. So her new album is having a launch party in a cinema, right? In cinemas. she cut the deal with AMC, not with Warner Brothers or with Universal. She went straight to AMC. She's like super smart, like running your like no, obviously super talented, but just running your talent, not just having followers, but being a leader to your followers. I think she's and I'm not like great hits or whatever. I'm not I actually like Folklore, the album. I thought it was amazing, but I'm not a massive fan of her music. I'm a massive fan of her, and I think she's if more brands should be like Taylor Swift, I reckon.
Yeah, and what an economic power also.
I know.
Like whenever she goes, like
I know.
boosting country's economy, like the number is crazy.
Incredible. Imagine what's the brand that's most like Taylor Swift? Who knows?
So where do you get getting inspiration? What's your way to kind of reload the creative energy back after hard work?
It's spending time with creative people, like we're all doing here. Like these types of events are so important, right? Andrew and I were talking earlier. You kind of have all these kind of people who are just all a bit weird, right? But weird in different ways, right? Weird is cool, by the way, And I think that like making sure you're having those conversations and just like not even about work, just about stuff is great, right? So people, but because sort of didn't go into it. So I love CX methodology, and that's all about listening to users and leaning into users. So audiences tend not to tell you what you should be doing. They're very good at telling you what you shouldn't be doing, right?
Struggles, probably.
Yeah, and I love those. I like snipping those out and finding those. I love them, right? And whoever at Monzo did that thing, like that was imagine what if we could. Really hard to do if you're an agency on the outside, but Monzo have an in-house integrated group, a small group, right? That you can change these other things. So yeah.
And then the last question from those three that we ask every podcast guest.
Sure.
What's your moonshot goal? So what would ultimate success for you look like?
How I say it to my crew is that we chase goosebumps. Goosebumps.
Chase goosebumps. That's
goosebumps
fantastic.
is what we're after, right? And they're really hard to quantify. They're very hard to measure. I wouldn't recommend trying to measure goosebumps when But I think that's, I was fortunate to work on John Lewis many years ago, and I heard a couple of kids talking about the work, and that's better than like getting Cannes Awards is lovely, but that was the best thing ever. Almost well up thinking about it. I don't well up thinking about my Cannes Award or whatever. I just So it's that. That's what we're chasing. Goosebumps.
That's a fantastic answer. I read the interview and
what's Goosebumps in Latvian?
It's a little black book.
What's
Goosebumps in Latvian?
Yeah.
Zuasāde.
Zuasāde.
Fantastic word. It's like a goose skin.
Goose skin.
Something like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know who invented that word in Latvian, but
it's a good one.
Yeah.
Is there a Lithuanian equivalent of Goosebumps?
It's kind of yes, kind of no. I don't know. The goose part, kind of similar one. What about Lithuanians and Estonians? Like if you do a back translation to English, what? Kanana.
Kananak.
Kananak. Yeah, skin of the chicken.
Yeah, right.
So we have a skin of the goose. In Lithuania. Lithuanians, what do you have? If you back translate? Okay.
Untranslatable. Is there equivalent?
Shurpulukai. Shurpulukai.
Chasing Shurpuluka.
Chasing Zuasāde, chasing Kanana.
That's me.
So that's how we do. Yeah. So in a slightly more serious interview for the Little Black Book with you and Jennifer Berry.
Yeah.
They also actually asked similar question. You got a bit more serious then, and you said that what your kind of dream is when the commerce feels like invitation to play.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm really proud that within the experience division we look after commerce, and I love the fact we look after commerce. I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid, but I felt like this before I worked for the Lego company. I do believe they're trying to distribute really good things, and and I also think we all drive commerce, right? Doesn't matter if you're making trailers for movies or TV ads or like influencers or whatever. We're all trying to drive a retail action. My view is I'm selling play. That's how I look at it. So I'm
Any
cool
good example where you actually, integrated play or game element in commerce sites or
like every single
step of it.
every single campaign, every single
something
thing
that comes on mind?
Well, I'll tell you what. So things like we do pop-ups at a lot of the F1 races. So we actually have retail in there.
Physical store, basically.
Physical store, but there's also play zones within it, right? So it's fully integrated all the way through. I'd love to have this conversation in April next year because there's some big stuff coming.
Let's get back to it then.
Okay.
So, guys, we got some questions here. Whoa, Ben, you got some questions here. 26 altogether.
Okay. As the person who asked, I'm going to stand up so they can be identified.
That would be nice
if
you're brave enough, if you're bold enough. But we have 8 votes, so it's the most popular question so far.
Okay.
Stepping on a Lego is the worst ever. What was your worst mistake in your job at Lego? That's a good question. Who did it?
Okay, well done. Good question. I am going to talk about a mistake I didn't make at Lego because back in my first job, I did I was working for, was it Pernod Ricard, and I did the classic put the wrong file to print, right? And I think like 500,000 of these things were made. Yeah, and that teaches you a lesson. I'm definitely more at the sort of wacky end of creativity, but oh my god, it just taught me double, triple check, and if you can't do that, find someone who's going to do that for you, because my boss was cool with it, but I just felt awful.
What a waste.
Awful. Good question. What was yours? But I got put on the spot.
Oh. So, the next question, 7 votes.
Okay.
What is the unsolvable challenge for Lego that needs to be solved in near future?
Oh my. What is an unsolvable challenge for Lego?
Yeah, let's solve together now.
Maybe it's the brick that identifies if someone's going to tread on it and it goes squidgy so you don't hurt your foot, right?
Coming back to the first question, yeah. Okay, that's solvable, I think.
Is it?
Kind of feels like solvable.
Maybe you solve it by having very deep pile carpet. That's the solve.
Sensors, I don't know. There should be an answer to that. So, guys, we have a good puzzle to solve. So, can we pitch back to Ben?
Yeah.
If we have good ideas?
All ears, yeah.
Cool. Mission known. Mission taken. So the third most popular question we got here is, if you were a Lego set.
Okay.
Imagine that now.
Yeah.
Close your eyes. What would it be?
So, who asked this one? Who asked this one? The same. Okay, here we go. So, the obvious one for me is the character from the Lego movie Benny, right? Who is this sort of the very played with spaceman, who's like. It'll be that and the space sets that come with it, because that was my first experience of Lego toy, and it was my elder brother's set, and I remember he made it. He was really proud of it. He was out. I then took it apart, and then remade it, and he did find out. But we spoke again after a couple of weeks. He's got a good attitude, which I definitely align with.
And if Benny and F1 would be combined in one set, I think that would be the
Yeah,
one.
it could happen.
All right, let's get to the next most popular question. And this is a question by anonymous person. Can you promise Lego will have Latvian freedom monument soon? Latvian asking.
Who wants? Who? Okay. No, I can't. No, but as we discussed earlier, we have a wonderful system where fans can upload their models, and if they're voted for, they can get made, and you can be a part owner of that model.
If we get enough Latvians to vote, Latvians can be a big force.
Yeah, exactly.
Like there was this, many years ago, this Monopoly global game, board game. There was kind of a vote. Which countries will be included? Latvia got number second, number third, because,
Oh, really?
Or Riga city.
Riga?
Or Latvia's country, Riga city. Okay. So, I think, smaller countries like us, if we need, if
Small countries make big people.
we can come together and make a big force there.
I'd vote for you.
So, what's the weirdest or most niche Lego model you've ever seen make it to market?
Now there are.
Andrew Joby asked this question.
who asked
Andrew,
it?
thank you for the question.
That's a tough question because there were a lot of people who know like that so much detail about our products and our product sets. I wonder. So when you start at Lego, or even if you become a vendor partner, you do go to Billund and you get a tour, and you go around the original workshop and you see the molds that the Lego bricks were made from, and you see the first Lego toys. Do you know what the first Lego toy is? It's a wooden duck, right? That's niche, right? And that's why you have a couple of things in all the Lego offices. You see the duck. When you actually start a Lego, you have to make a duck. And the other thing, which is aligned to something we were talking about before, written on the wall is only the best is good enough. And that is our internal mantra. But it doesn't matter if you're in legal, doesn't matter if you're like in HR, that is, and it comes from a story about the ducks, and they've been, so the son was making the ducks and he only lacquered them twice, and they always have to be lacquered 3 times. It's like, go back, sand it off, lacquer them all again 3 times, because only the best is good enough, right? So, yeah, that's probably the most niche one. The other interesting fact about when you're on that tour, to say you should, if you can go on it, it's amazing, is the actual molds that they make the Lego bricks out of in the factories. They're obviously one of the huge secret sources of the business. They wear out over time. What they do with the molds is when they build a new Lego building, they put them in the foundations. So all of the, like in Billund, in campus or whatever, where they have Lego buildings, they've got the old Lego molds in the foundations. And I think that's it's really in the heart of what we do. So that's my long way of answering what's the niche product for.
So almost the last question would be on the slightly more serious note. Sorry. One of the last questions on more serious note. How do you measure marketing effectiveness in Lego? Anonymous person asking.
We've got lots of data measuring marketing effectiveness. Interestingly, I was in the US office last week, and they were talking to the creative team, and they were talking about actual sales data. So that's marketing effectiveness, right? As opposed to, hey, click through or whatever. It's like this, and then we actually do have, a way of working out what creativity has added to the actual financial bottom line of the business, which is gold for us. It's like for Nick Taylor, who runs the business, it's like we actually make a difference, and it is, you know, fully we've run the numbers on it, and it's fully legitimized. So that's our marketing effectiveness, is like actually retail effectiveness. It's proven out in our business.
Not so much testing focus groups.
Oh, we do loads of focus groups, all of that's at the front end, but normally marketing effectiveness is on the basis of something out in the wild and what has it actually done for the business. And our business is selling like fabulous models and toys, as well as computer games and all that stuff. But we actually like connect the sales results to creativity. And that's because the creativity is so good because of all the research and all the, all the user research and qual and quant that goes into it at the beginning.
And as it's only us here,
yeah,
there's the question: what's your favorite Lego secret?
Oh,
no,
God,
please,
Ben. What's my favorite Lego secret? I should have saved the thing about the foundations, man. Let me have a think. I don't know. The thing is, I've got so many Lego secrets that you're all going to know about. You just have to wait a bit, right? But we had the secret of working with Tom Holland for a while. That was quite a hard one to not talk about.
Why?
Because he's a megastar, right? And getting him on the shoot and
What was the role? He was part of the.
He's part of that. So she built that. We did that, and now this is the latest campaign, and like Tom's a huge part of it. But you'll see by the fidelity of the campaign, it's quite high end. So like quite a lot of post production has gone into it.
To be launched yet?
No, that's out now. Go on YouTube. Okay. You see it now. It's been out for 2 weeks, a bit longer. So yeah, there's lots of secrets, but I think that's Again, you have to ask me in.
Yeah, I mean, secrets, fuck ups, not the easiest thing to
that's
talk about.
Why ruin the surprise, right? Yeah. And that's part of the magic, right? I don't want to, tell you what's coming or whatever, because it's going to be great when it comes.
Thank you so much, Ben.
No, thanks for having me.
You want to add anything before we give floor to the next group of discussion partners? It's the Lego company. It's not Lego. No, it's been great. No, thanks for the time. So thank you everyone for the questions. Thank you, Ben.
Thanks, man.